Hey everybody, this is Steve O with SkinnyPost.com, and I am luckily joined today with Darrell Reid of the Denver Broncos. Darrell Reid is a defensive end slash outside linebacker, and we're pleased to have him here today to talk a little football and a little Denver Broncos. What's up, Darrell? How you doing, my friend?
What's up, Steve? What's going on, man? We finally getting to this interview. Been at it for a minute.
Yeah, well, hey, sometimes we get busy and our schedules clash, but it's nice to have you on board right now. I'm glad to have you on the site. Uh,
Big
real,
shout out to
Go
big
ahead.
shout out to B Marsh, kind of
Yeah,
putting that together.
shout out to the beasts. Hey, real quick, want to ask you first off and foremost, you are versatile. As a defensive end and an outside linebacker, you have two roles. Plus, you're a special teams demon. So, week in and week out, how does your preparation change when you get ready to go into a game on Sunday when you may be game planning for a different team and maybe the coaches are telling you got to be more prepared to play this position this week, or do you need to be more prepared to play this position this week? Tell us how that works and run us through that real quick.
Well, first of all, I think I prepare for the game in two different kind of sequences. First, I focus on special teams and breaking down the other team's special teams, my assignments for that week, and their key players, whether they have a good returner, and usually each and every week we're facing a top returner in the league. So um, I handle that first, my special teams, and then I focus on defense and my assignments and offensive linemen, breaking down who my matchups are going to be that week, and watch a lot of film. I watch a lot of film, both special teams and defense, or the other team's offense. Preparing for the game, and usually here in Denver, my role hasn't changed that much from week to week. I think as a starting unit, our defense was pretty consistent. At outside linebacker, there was a few games where a couple guys were banged up. Mario Hagan was banged up going into one game, but for the most part, him and Elvis did a great job for us last year at outside linebacker. And when I got my opportunities, I did the best I could and stepped in and just tried not to miss a beat out there because those guys played very sharp. So for the most part, I focused on third down, pass rushing, um, the offensive linemen I was facing their weaknesses and special teams.
Now, which do you prefer? Do you have a preference? I mean, do you like playing five technique better, or do you like playing standing up better? I mean, what do you? If you had your druthers, what would Darrell Reid do? Day in and day out.
I mean, if it was up to me, I would do what I'm doing. I like moving around. I feel like even if I was locked in at one position, a team would get a beat on me almost and almost game plan to try to stop me. So being that versatility allows me to move around and kind of leave the offense off balance a little bit.
Now, when an offense sends somebody, let's say you're playing that linebacker position, and you see a guy at a running back position that is fast, he's shifty, and you see him coming right at you, and you've got to drop into pass coverage. You ever find yourself in those situations where you're thinking, oh man, this dude could eat me up in space if I let him? And how do you prevent that from happening so you don't get exposed on their strengths and maybe some of your coverage skills aren't exactly Champ Bailey-esque?
Well, I mean, usually if I'm in man to man against anybody, that means there's some kind of blitz on. So, number one, I'm hoping they hurry up and get there. That's number one. Um, Number two, you got guys that are especially. I think the toughest thing for us is when we're blitzing and we have a fast running back, and if he leaves the backfield, we have to peel off and take him, on whatever route he runs. And I think that's probably the toughest thing for us. And when you got a guy like Sproles, you got the guy down in Kansas City who's a burner. You got guys like that are super fast out of the backfield. That makes it tough, and they're always swinging right now. And you just got to try not to get out leveraged.
Very good point. Now let's transition into the coaches of the defense. As we all know in Denver, all our Denver fans know Mike Nolan has moved on to the Miami Dolphins, and that leaves your boy Wink is now the defensive coordinator. So I'm wondering what changes are going to be made, if any, What do you guys expect heading into 2010 that you did differently in '09?
Well, I think we've made so many changes. I mean, I wasn't here in '08, but from '08 to '09, the defense changed so much with Mike Nolan coming in and implementing his system. And I think Wink is just going to take what Mike Nolan, the foundation that Mike Nolan built here, and just try to build on it. And I think we're probably going to be a little bit more aggressive, and I think we're just going to have more packages. I know Wink, he's a linebacker coach, and I know he likes to get all his guys on the field. So, I think we're just going to have some more packages, have more versatility. He likes the versatility that the 3-4 allows us to be as a defense, and he likes to bring guys from everywhere. So you never know who's coming and what to be prepared for.
Now, in your past, you have a little bit of bling. You were at a Super Bowl and you brought home the championship. You've gotten to experience those things as a player, which is obviously the pinnacle of the NFL. What in your mind does a championship team do differently than other teams, and what does Denver need to do in particular, in your opinion, to get that championship swagger and to get to that level where y'all are hosting up the Lombardi Trophy?
I think for the most part, we just need to gel. We're a young team. We have a young coaching staff, and we haven't been together long, and this system hasn't been in place in Denver that long. You got to remember, by the time I got to Indianapolis, Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison, Tony Dungy, they had been there 4, 5, 6 years already, playing together in the same system, same coaches. A lot of those players that won that Super Bowl had been there. They were super veterans, and Dallas Clark and Reggie Wayne. These guys been in the league 6, 7 years in the same system. Dwight Freeney, Bob Sanders. So I just think it takes time. I mean, it took those guys time, and they went to the playoffs so many times before they actually won it. Before we actually won it, and so it just takes a little time, a little patience, and I think it takes a belief in the system, and over time that happens, and over time you grow confidence in your coaches, more confidence in your coaches, and the coaches grow more confidence in their players, and I think that's all it takes for us is a little bit more time.